How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another tier list style video. So normally I do videos where I go through all the facts about cars and give you basically everything informational about them. In today's video, it's all about my opinion instead. So be ready to be annoyed at me for having a different opinion as you, or be ready to agree with me because you think that my opinion is absolutely perfect. Last time I did first cars, which I thought was going to be easy, but it turned out to be quite difficult. Today it might be even more difficult because we're doing manufacturers instead of cars. So luxury manufacturers, which means multiple potential cars. What I did was I went onto Wikipedia, looked at their list of subcategories of manufacturers who do luxury cars, and then threw them basically all into this. By the way, remember, this is all my opinion, so if you have a different opinion to me, that's absolutely fine, and feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, and without further ado, let's get into the video. So before we begin, let's talk through different categories. So at the top, we've got Waft King. Now, obviously, the goal of luxury cars is to be unnecessary, ridiculous, over the top. The kind of cars that you would never actually want to drive. You just want to sit in the back and chill and glass of champagne and just perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is, for me, the epitome of luxury. You don't drive it, you have a chauffeur who drives it for you. The level below that is Plush AF. And now from this, I mean you're heading towards those unnecessary features that the cars really would never need, but you just give them anyway because they're supposed to be luxurious. So it might have one or two of those things, but it's not quite at the level of being a Waft King. Below that, we have Disconnected. Now, disconnected means that yes, you get into the cars and it just feels like the outside of the world is gone. You're cruising around in it and you're just looking out the window at everyone and being like uninteresting, not important, just peasants outside. What is going on here? Below that, we've got and now I don't mean like I mean like and by that I mean it's kind of going towards being luxurious, but it's not really luxurious. It's kind of like a bottom end of the luxury line, basically. And then you've got wannabes, and now wannabes are just cars that are called luxury cars, but they're not really luxury cars in my opinion. So without further waffle, then let's get straight into it and let's just go right in with Rolls-Royce. How can you say that Rolls-Royce are anything other than Waft King? They are the epitome of what a luxury car should be. Any car that has a starlit ceiling on it, how pointless is a starlit ceiling? That for me is perfect luxury. And wine or champagne fridges and champagne flutes, all about it. Super plush seats. There's even this thing, I'll tell you about in another video, but like the Rolls-Royce heifers, the types of leather that they use to put onto their seats, madness. Genuinely, if you can't put Rolls-Royce and Waft King, then what can you put in there? They're also one of those manufacturers as well where I think they just kind of ooze cash because they're so expensive. They are just cash. And I've been in a whole bunch of old Rolls-Royces like Silver Spirits, etc., and even they make you feel like a king when you're just sitting in the back of them. Next up, let's do Bentley. Now, I don't think that Bentley are quite on a level with Rolls-Royce. I think that they definitely do some very luxurious cars, like the Bentayga, for example. I've never been driven around in one, but I've had the chance to look around one and look inside one, and they are super, super luxurious inside. But ultimately, they definitely aren't on a level with Rolls-Royce, and like the Bentley Continental GT and stuff, great for grand touring in. Don't think they have quite as many unnecessary features. They're not as over the top. So they're going to go in plush instead. I don't think you could make a suggestion that they'd be in disconnected. Some of the older ones were maybe less nice, like the Continental GT, the old ones have just depreciated so heavily to like 15k or whatever, but they're definitely worthy of being up there. They're a certified luxury manufacturer, simple. How about going German and going BMW? So BMW, they used to have the deadest interiors. Like, they had that whole period between like maybe 2000 and 2012, 2013, where they just couldn't seem to put together a nice interior in the car. Then they had like a purgatory middle period, and then now they're kind of getting towards better interiors again. I would say that these are more executive cars than they are luxury cars, and so for that reason I'm going to put them in because I had to actually think about this and think like some of them, yes, are very luxurious, like the 7 Series, and if you go for like an Alpina, then they're very fast. They've got like that kind of luxury grunt behind them. I'm gonna put them in for now because I just don't think that they're quite worthy. I don't think you feel as disconnected in a BMW. It's a BMW. Loads of people have BMWs. The same can be said for cars like Audis. Again, Audis have much nicer interiors, in my opinion, than lots of BMWs. And cars like the A7 or the A8 in particular, the S8 as well, they are all very luxurious. The interiors are super nice in them. They're the kinds of cars that you can waft around in. But ultimately, everyone can get an Audi. The thing about Audi though is that, like, similar to BMW, to be fair, if you think about like first cars or any other tier of cars, you've got like a first car like a Polo or a Peugeot or whatever, Peugeot 206, 207, 208, and then you've got like above that, you've got the more premium Audi A1 or the BMW 1 Series. So they are still definitely going towards the premium end of the market. But in terms of straight up being luxury manufacturers, I wouldn't say they are. Porsche, now there are some Porsches that I feel like you can feel quite disconnected in. I don't know if any of you have been in a new Panamera, but the Panamera is lush. It just feels like you get a lot of attention in the really nice ones with the e-hybrid and stuff. And I think that Porsche do a great job of making the same thing better over and over again, basically. That's what they live for. And so their luxury has also gotten better alongside their handling and their sports stuff over the years. I would put those in disconnected because I think Porsche are probably a step above in terms of luxury BMW and Audi, but they're definitely not Bentley or Rolls-Royce. When you think of luxury, I think of Rolls-Royce and Bentley before I think of Porsche. Now let's do Ferrari. Now Ferrari's an interesting one because obviously lots of their cars are more supercars, which are luxuries, but they're not necessarily luxury. So you've got cars instead like the GTC4, you've got the FF, and a whole bunch of their Grand Touring cars, to be perfectly honest, are definitely heading down the luxury line instead. They're not unnecessary in terms of some of their features, but they are a little bit unnecessary in terms of their levels of power often, and they're also unnecessary in terms of how expensive they are. So in terms of being a luxury manufacturer in particular on a level with Bentley, obviously the heritage and stuff is just different. Like obviously Ferrari is Ferrari, you got Enzo the man, like okay cool, Ferrari as a brand maybe way more worth cash and whatever than Bentley, but as a luxury manufacturer they're definitely a supercar manufacturer in my opinion. And let's stay in Italy for the next one. Let's do Alfa Romeo. So Alfa Romeo basically have three main offerings at the moment, which is the Giulietta, the Giulia and the Stelvio. People who watch the channel a lot will know that I really like Alfa Romeo. I want to buy a 4C as one of my next cars at some point if I can get the cash together and it all makes sense financially, but I don't think that they're that luxurious, and I don't think they're even on a level with BMW and Audi in terms of their straight up luxury. In fact, like I don't really know why they're listed as a luxury manufacturer. I think they do some nice sports cars, anything with a clover on it, and yeah, I'm interested, but they're not really luxury cars, so they go in wannabe for now. And that pains me, but I can't in good conscience put them alongside BMW and Audi because I don't think that Alphas are really particularly executive cars, let alone luxury cars. Now let's do Lamborghini. Now obviously Lamborghini are mostly a supercar manufacturer as well, similar to Ferrari I would say, and they're known for like that kind of heritage rather than being for luxury, but the Urus is definitely a luxury car. Is it a Rolls-Royce or a Bentley in terms of being luxury focused? Probably not. Would I get one over a GTC4 or an FF? Probably not. I might even have, in fact I probably would. This sounds ridiculous. I'd probably have a Panamera over a Urus, I think. But I still quite like the idea of it, and I still think you'd feel quite disconnected in a Urus. So I'm going to put it above because it's like, even if the Urus is just an Audi, it's still a step above the Audi in terms of like what it represents. So we're going to put it in disconnected for now. Next up we have Mercedes, and now Mercedes is a really interesting one. As an overall manufacturer, they have got some great offerings, and I've driven quite a few good Mercedes, like a few C-classes, some SLs, all that good stuff. The top of the line in terms of being a Mercedes luxury car for me, you've got the G-Wagon, and then you've got the S-Class as well, so the G-Class and the S-Class, both of which for me definitely reached that stage of unnecessariness, because you've got the S-Class, which has a stupid level of technology put into it every single time it comes out. It always has the best tech out there. And then you've got the G-Class, which, I mean, it looks unnecessary. It is unnecessary. They often sound unnecessary. They are beasts. And so for me, they're not Rolls-Royce level for sure, but they are definitely plush level for me as luxury manufacturer. Obviously, some of their cars aren't luxury cars. They have some cars that would devalue that level of luxuriness. But if we think about their top end offering, they're definitely plush. And if we want to take that one step further, I couldn't ignore this brand, Maybach. They have to go in waft. They are the epitome, just like Rolls-Royce, of straight up unnecessary, over-the-top luxury. You can literally get a first-class cabin package, and we're talking basically like a private jet style package. So you're getting literally these little things that like raise up with your champagne flutes on them, so you can take the champagne out of the champagne fridge, pop the bottles and just start drinking in the back of your car. It's a whole different world. The idea of luxury cars is that I think you just have, you don't sit in the back of them and even do work. You sit in the back of them and just graze in your own wealth is kind of the idea. You're not there to do work in the back of your cars. You're there to just chill, basically. Now, this is an interesting one. Tesla. So Tesla, they got the Model 3, they've got the Model S, they got the Model X, then they got like the Model Y as well. I don't even know at this point. But I think I've been in quite a few Teslas, and I don't really have a problem with Tesla as a brand. What I do have a problem with is the interiors. For me, if you're spending that much money on a car, you need a much nicer interior. I understand they've got that big like touchscreen thing and whatever, but that to me doesn't save it. They're not luxurious inside. The materials used are not nice materials. I don't get inside one and think, oh, this is sick, this is plush. I get inside one and I think, it's all plasticky. It's about as plasticky as the inside of my Polo. It's just a technologically advanced plasticky Polo interior. And I know that some people will disagree with me here. I think they're probably, it's unfair to put them in wannabe. It's probably correct to put them in because yes, some of them go towards the luxury end of the market in terms of what they offer, and some of them are ridiculous as well, like those doors that flip up and like Christmas mode and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they are nuts, but I just don't feel nice inside them. They're just the materials used aren't right. That's how I'm leaving it. So let's go Jaguar. So I'd say yes, the XJ, the XJL, the F-Pace as well. All three of those cars I have been in. The XJ and the XJL are pretty much the same thing, just long, short wheelbase. The F-Pace as well. Some of them are less luxurious than others, obviously, in terms of spec, but as an overall, they're definitely heading down the road of luxury in a good way. Would I put them above BMW and Audi? Oh, this is really difficult. For now, would I put them on the same level as Porsche though? This is tough, man. I'm gonna put them in disconnected. I haven't been driven around a lot in an F-Pace. It does feel very wafty, like you sit back, you relax. You do feel very disconnected from the road. Having been in the back of an XJ as well, the XJs are 100% really luxurious and chill to sit in. They're a bit executive still, so I'm umming and ahhing about that one, but disconnected it goes in for me. Lincoln, so this is one that I don't actually have as much experience of, so apologies if I screw this up, but when I was in the US, I saw loads of Lincoln Navigators driving around in New York, and they are beasts. They are absolutely massive, and I had a look at some of their interiors and whatever. They are crazy. I'm talking like, it looks like the interior of a private jet on the insides of some of those cars, with like the screens in the backs of the seats and stuff. Loads of legroom it looked like as well. Obviously the cars are huge, they've got plenty of opportunity to be like good for legroom. I think the Lincoln are definitely up there in disconnected, at least. I have to put them in disconnected. It'd be rude if I didn't. And though I'm definitely not an expert in American car brands, Cadillac, the Escalade in particular that I saw as well whilst I was out in the US, that was huge as well. I would say that the interiors on the Escalade didn't look quite as luxurious as the Lincoln Navigator. My American audience can let me know if I'm wrong about that. I'm sorry if I am. But I would just say that the Escalade probably doesn't go quite to the disconnected level that the Navigator does. So we'll put it in because it's definitely luxurious inside, but I wouldn't put it on Navigator levels inside. I'm probably wrong. All right, we're storming through now. Let's go on to Lexus. So Lexus is obviously the luxury end of the Toyota brand, and with Lexus you've got cars like the LC, the GS, and the GS450H and stuff like that in particular. They're definitely luxurious cars. They're very nice. They're very chilled inside, but I couldn't put them above BMW and Audi, so I'm gonna have to put them in the same level as them. I think that they don't get a good rep in the UK like some other cars. They're definitely on their way to getting better. I think some of their more recent offerings are really cool, but maybe more down the sports side. As luxury cars, they are luxurious inside. I've used them in plenty of my previous luxury videos, but they're gonna have to go in for now. Land Rover, obviously you've got the Range Rover Sport, you've got the Defender, which isn't really going down luxury lines, I guess. You've got the Evoque, you've got just bog standard big ass Range Rovers. I don't like them a lot, but I have been in a few of them, and I've done those like Land Rover experience days where you like go up and down some madness and whatever, and it's so sick to see what they can do, and like, they are very capable, and they do feel very luxurious and wafty inside. I'd say, yeah, probably a level above BMW and Audi in terms of their luxury, and definitely above Tesla. So yeah, let's put them in disconnected for now, and they alongside Jaguar, that kind of makes sense. Jaguar Land Rover, all good. Onto a Rogue one. I don't really know why this was on the list of luxury manufacturers according to Wiki, but yeah, Volvo. So Volvo for me, I'm gonna put them in wannabe, even though I do actually like Volvo cars. I used to not when I was a kid. It's kind of car that you think is dead when you're a kid, but as I've gotten older, I've started to like Volvo more and more. But the interiors aren't very nice. Like, the interiors are a little bit boring. They are functional, and they are simple, and they are, for all those reasons, nice. But that's not what a luxury car is supposed to be about. A luxury car is supposed to be about ridiculous, over the top, way too much. So Volvo goes in wannabe for me for the sake of that, I guess. Aston Martin. Now, Aston Martin, I think I have to put them on a level with Bentley, Ferrari, Mercedes, because I've been in a couple. You've got the Rapide, which is definitely more towards the luxury end. Obviously, some of their cars are very much sports cars, which we won't include in this kind of rating. But when you're in something that's just an absolute cruiser, their Grand Tourer range in particular, they are so nice, so chilled. You're definitely disconnected. You're definitely in something that you know is special. And also in something that you know is quite luxurious. The seats are nice and everything is good materials generally. Some of the older ones maybe not. Some of them were a little bit plastically on the dashboard and stuff. But I'd say that Aston Martin, maybe it's just the badge. Maybe the badge just gives them that little bit of extra push as well. Only 3 left now. And so let's start with the Maserati. So Maserati have got some good luxury offerings generally across the board. They've had cars like the Quattroporte, the Ghibli, the Gran Turismo, the Gran Cabrio, and they've also got the Levante or whatever, the big 4x4 thing. They're definitely a step above in terms of luxury. They're definitely heading towards being a luxury car, and they parade themselves around as a luxury car manufacturer. So I'm going to put them in disconnected. I've been in only a couple of Maseratis in my time, and all of them have been pretty cool place to be. Every time I've been in them, I've been like, actually, this is pretty cool. Some of them are a little bit dead, like the Ghibli can be a bit hit and miss sometimes, but as an overall, I think they're probably above BMW and Audi and Tesla and that kind of stuff. So I put them in alongside Land Rover and Jaguar. They could be better, basically. And then these two both have to go in WAF King. Let's start with Pagani. The reason why Pagani's on here is because, again, it was on the wiki list. And also, I don't think that they're just hypercars. They are very much art pieces as cars. If you've ever looked at the interior on a Pagani, that thing is so over the top, and it's so beautifully designed and so intricate and so perfect and it's way just ridiculous. It has to go in WAF King. Like, it just has to. They don't really, I don't think of Paganis for their handling, although obviously you've got these Honda R which lap the Nürburgring very quickly. You've got a whole bunch of cars that are very capable, but the reason why you like Paganis is because they cost shed loads of cash because of how beautiful they are generally as creations. So they have to go in WAF King alongside Rolls Royce and Maybach, but obviously it's a little bit different because you probably want to drive them. And the final one, Bugatti Heritage, immediately just puts them in WAF King anyway, but also price has to be in WAF King. The fact that they are like perfect waft wagons as well have to be in WAF King. The thing that really puts them up there for me though is the personalization piece. If you look at some of the Veyrons across the history of the Bugatti Veyron, some of them were incredible. Like the final edition Veyron, which I've forgotten the name of, is beautiful. The red and black one that's all carbon fiber with the Rembrandt elephant on it. Amazing. It's just like having stuff like that, and the materials that they use in the production of them, they are so luxurious, you can't not put them in WAF King. And so there we have it. Yes, I think I'm actually quite happy with that. I thought I was going to be annoyed at myself and have to go back and change a whole bunch of these, but I think I'm okay with that order for now. Let me know in the comments down below if you disagree with me. I'm sure plenty of you will. This is all just obviously opinion, so if you guys think any differently, then that's not a problem. I'm not precious about this kind of stuff. I also know that I'm not correct. I'm just simply giving you what I think. Massive thank you to the patrons as always. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.